I'd like to call tonight's meeting of the Lower Macungie Township Board of Commissioners to order. If we could all please stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, for terms of the roll call, Solicitor Fisher is substituting for Solicitor Bruman this evening. Commissioner Beitler is not in attendance. Everyone else that's supposed to be here is here. We don't have any agenda modifications this evening. Announcements and presentations. There was a executive session held prior to this meeting to discuss potential land acquisition. 5.1, Ryan Trexler, Fire Chief. Chief, why don't you come on up, have a seat or stand, whatever you want, whatever is easier for you. We just asked you to pull the microphone close because it's being recorded for your introduction. Welcome. And then a little recap on the year.
All right. Thank you. Is this okay?
Yeah, just it's a little sensitive, but yeah, that's
okay.
Fine.
So for those that don't know me, my name is Ryan Trexler. I'm the Fire Chief of the Lower Macungie Fire Department. A little background about myself. Been in emergency services for 22 years. I served as Assistant Chief from 2011 to 2018, at which time the merger between Albertus and Lower Macungie took place. And I have been serving in a Deputy Chief role since that time, till my appointment as Fire Chief this year. I'm born and raised in the community, graduated from Emmaus High School. Are there any questions?
Nope.
Okay. I condensed, I'm not going to go page by page for you, but I have a condensed version as it relates to the statistics for last year. Page 2, you can see the correlation between 2023 to 2024. Our responses are up 13%, 105 more incidents last year, which was in part due to our agreement with Macungie Borough. So that was expected. 71 of those calls you can see were from the borough of Macungie. So that accounts for a large portion of that increase. Our fire alarms in residential dwellings are down, which is appreciated. Obviously, with more development in commercial buildings, our fire alarms in the commercial setting are up, whether it be apartment structures, water flow alarms. You can see the breakdown that we have. We added educational facilities because we wanted to kind of gauge how often we're going to those types of buildings. Prior, they were all lumped into the commercial setting. The next section, we have the responses by station. So as we're situated across the response area, we have 3 stations and their district is split into thirds, almost very close to equal thirds across from the Berks County line to Cedar Crest Boulevard corridor. So we have the Westcoesville station on Brookside Road, the Brandywine station on Sauerkraut Lane, and then the Albertus station on Main Street, Albertus. All of the stations have seen an increase, including our fire police in responses, but we have a tiered system. So minor emergencies are only seeing one of those departments respond. Crashes with somebody trapped are getting 2 plus the fire police. And then when it's a reported fire, you get all 3 departments right off the bat to start resources moving to that area. Any questions? As far as mutual aid, we need the support of our neighbors as much as they need the support from us, mostly on those higher acuity calls, whether it be an accident with somebody trapped or a fire. And those numbers are broken down there. They're pretty close to holding steady where we've been in the last 5 years. From 2019 to 2024, our call volume has been within that 200 range, ranging from right above 600 to last year just below 800. And that's been kind of steady growth that we could see through our old reporting software that I can't kind of add to this data. Some other key numbers are man hours. So we track as well as the data that's put in from our members, how often and how much time takes up what our responsibilities are. So important being incidents. Last year, we spent 2,768 hours operating on incidents. Training, we spent 6,431 man hours. And the total activity of all of our membership, and this includes washing the trucks to meetings to different committees, gathering data for PR events or apparatus repairs, was 12,151 hours. And that was spanned between our 58 members. So we have 58 fire personnel and 8 primary fire police personnel that respond out of the Lower Macungie Fire Department. Last year, we had several members obtain their National Pro Board certification in traffic control. That's a new program that was out. So all of our fire police were certified to the national standard, as well as every new fireman that comes in, we require them to get as a minimum a Pro Board hazardous materials operations program and the Pro Board Firefighter 1, which is your very basic saying you have all the training to go into a burning building. And then all of the training for advanced certifications, vehicle rescue, other types of rescue kind of build on that. But we had 4 new members complete that certification as well, and they came off of our probation membership role into active duty. We continue to train and prepare for all hazards fire department approach for fire rescue, severe weather, natural and man-made disasters, emergency medical assistance to the local ambulance corps, and hazardous material incidents. Are there any questions on all of the other data that I provided, or any questions in general for the fire department?
I have one. How are your volunteer numbers? Are they solid? Are they declining?
They're not declining. Our recruitment and retention committee is taking an active role in doing whatever we can to attract people to the department. Obviously, everything's provided. There's no cost to the member as far as the training that's provided, the equipment that we have. I'm sure you're aware the trend is going down. We are fortunate that we have kind of been in that 50 to 60 range since 2019 with the merger.
Excellent. Any other questions from the board?
Just a comment.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Please pass it along to the members. We really appreciate not only the job you do, the professionalism that you provide, and the really first-class, fire service that we have here. We're very lucky.
Thank you very much. I will pass that on.
All right, and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Have a good night.
You too. Okay, moving on to hearings and approvals. Consideration of written decision for the Vipin Properties LLC conditional use application for Hamilton Square project. I'm going to adjourn our current meeting so that we can resume the conditional use hearing for this property, and I'll turn it over to the solicitor.
Thank you, President Higgins. I guess if the applicants want to come up, you want to put it on the record here, Joe, that you're here?
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Joe Piparato, and I'm here as legal counsel on behalf of the applicant.
I'm Bud Newton from Newton Engineering.
Okay. We've continued the hearing, obviously, tonight to make a decision on the conditional use application. I believe all evidence has been presented. Is there anything else that you wanted to present at this time?
No additional testimony.
Okay.
for us. Exhibits to submit.
Okay. And the township has no other information or exhibits to present at this time. So, Mr. President, it would be time for the board to take action on the application. I will note that a written decision was drafted on the application. My office did share it with Mr. Piparato for review and comment. So the applicant has seen the draft decision that's in front of you for action. So if you would like to take a motion to approve or not approve the written decision and application.
Move to approve the written decision.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there? Oh, Commissioner Robert. Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. That hereby concludes our conditional use hearing. We will now resume normal programming. Okay, item 7, public comment on non-agenda topics. Is there any public comment on non-agenda topics? Seeing none. Communication, Mr. Lytle.
Thank you. I have several this evening for your consideration. The first item, David Weeder, letter of resignation effective March 1st, 2025 for the Building Code Board of Appeals.
Do I have a motion to accept the resignation of David Weeder from the Building Code Board of Appeals?
Move to accept with regrets.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Vital continues.
Thank you, Kevin Lukeski, a statement of interest for the Library Board. Nancy Lattison, a statement of interest for the Library Board. Rob Burquist, a letter of thanks for the donation for the Troop Support Program. And also an item that wasn't on the agenda that we just received Tuesday from Jack Briner, notifying us of his decision to resign from the EAC. So Ms. Flexer will list that open position now for 90 days, along with the Building Code Board of Appeals, and see what applications are out there for townships residents that are interested. And that's all I have for communication.
Thank you. Item 9, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions. Resolution 2025-01, appointing one member to the Zoning Hearing Board with a term to expire 12/31/2029. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve Bill Royer.
Okay, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Item 10, approval of minutes of previous meeting, January 2nd, 2025. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item 11, approval of transfers, bill list, and payroll. Mr. Vital.
Thank you. We have the following for your consideration. General Fund, $497,051.74. The Solid Waste Fund, $178,838.70. The Sewer Fund, $113,711. The Capital Projects Fund, $570,897.33. The Open Space Maintenance Fund, $12,647.20. The Liquid Fuels Fund, $9,392.89. The payroll, $154,067.22. The developer escrow, $117,855.82. For a total of all funds, $1,654,461.90.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? And as always, for the public, all our bills can be reviewed on our township website. Moving on to departmental matters, engineering 12.1.1, resolution 2025-03, security release and project closeout for Jandal Commercial Park North, also known as Buckeye Headquarters. Mr. McAdam.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is for the Buckeye Building, and we are certifying that the required improvements between the township and the Jandal Land Company have been completed. Project has been done for quite some time. It took them quite a bit of time to get through the notice of termination process with the Conservation District, but we have received everything we need to recommend closeout of the project. Therefore, we're recommending that the remaining construction escrow funds be released in the amount of $185,178.31, and that the project be closed out.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, anything further, Mr. McAdam?
No, I had submitted the monthly engineers report, and other than that, unless the board has any questions, I'm done for the night.
Are there any questions for the engineer? Okay, moving forward, 12.2, planning. Mr. Trangush.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just a brief report. Prior to the deadline yesterday, we received two resubmissions. They were revisions to 1470 Brookside Road, 9-lot residential subdivision, also Hamilton Square, preliminary final land development plan. We also received a sketch plan for Red Maple Acres. They're proposing to expand into the remaining portion of the property. They had previously received approval in 2011 with no further action or recording of that plan. Therefore, they have now submitted a new plan for review. Last item we received was a request for a modification plan for Bet Simca for approval to modify the recorded plan into a phased plan. So we'll be reviewing those along with the township engineer over the next week or so. Last thing to report is we're working diligently to review approved land development files that are what we consider dormant, and document where each of those are in the process, whether it be waiting for outside approvals, response to check sets, agreements, et cetera. Once we evaluate each one of those projects, we plan to send appropriate correspondence to the applicants, notifying them of either next steps that they need to continue the process, or request a withdrawal, or deem the plan null and void. So that's all I have for the report tonight, and unless anyone has any questions.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Tranguch? Thank you, Vince. 12.3, Solicitor Fisher.
Thank you, President Higgins. The first item under my portion of the agenda is a resolution to authorize condemnation of certain properties. The agenda says 2201 Brookside Road. There's also another property, 5210 Lower Macungie Road. That's indicated in the draft resolution that was included in the agenda packet. This is to authorize the township to acquire or condemn the properties, those two properties, for municipal buildings, public works, parkland, and recreation space, should the township wish to do so. So it's before you for discussion and action.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2025-04. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Yes, Julie. You have to- Sorry, you know the rules.
Julie McDonald, Fresh Meadow Drive. Is there any type of building on that
No,
property? That's what I thought. It's
vacant land.
just, it's right next to the creek, isn't it?
It's,
Just this side of the creek.
yeah, it's on the other side. It's closer
north
to,
side.
like Italian Delight.
The road to nowhere.
The road to
Off of
nowhere.
Brookside.
Yeah.
It's the north side of the
Okay.
stream, from the north side of the stream towards Lower Macungie Road.
And I guess I thought all along that the property on either side of the stream was basically easement that was property.
The township does have parts to the south of the stream. There are some limited between the stream and the next older farmhouse and split entry. There is part of that is township that borders this property
But
to the
that's
south.
on, but that's on the other side, it's on the north side of the street,
Uh,
the farmhouse, right?
Correct. There is a slight easement there, but it's, this then hits the additional component
this is-
where
Yeah.
this moves north of where the township has
The
property.
property extends on the other side of the creek.
Correct.
Sorry.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, seeing no other comments from the public, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Solicitor Fisher, anything else?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Any questions for the solicitor? Okay, Township Manager, Mr. Beidle.
Thank you, gentlemen. Before you this evening is consideration to approve and grant a sanitary sewer easement for 3,000 Brookside Road. As discussed at a previous workshop meeting, this is the area right north of the township building, across the stream. There is a parcel of ground between here and what was known as the old Lichtenwalner farm. During our MS4 swale project, we did determine that a private lateral was accessing the township main sewer line through that piece of property. We thought it prudent to provide for an easement for this resident's private line to cross township property to make it to that main. So what you have before you this evening is, as you see with Ms. Flexer's example posted, the easement in question.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Beidle.
Thank you. And if the board is available, I'd like to have a executive session for potential litigation.
Are there any questions for the Township Manager? Okay, other business. Is there any old business to discuss this evening? Is there any new business to discuss this evening? Board of Commissioner reports. The next board workshop is January 27th, 2025 at 6 p.m. The next regular board meeting is February 6th, 2025 at 6 p.m. There will be an executive session following this meeting to discuss potential litigation. And with that, we are adjourned.